I actually teach the opposite of what these network marketing companies talk about in the past. Is like, you don't start with your 10 best friends and like, that's not where you start. That's what these other companies teach you. Is like, start with your grandma and your mom and dad and your best friend and stuff, and like people closest to you, because they'll for sure say yes. It's like, yeah, but if you're the least experienced and you don't know what to say and you're going to kind of screw it up, then you might damage that relationship. And this is the reason why so many people are afraid to contact someone that they have a relationship with of any kind. All right, the first question for this week is from Jordan. Jordan, are you here live?
Hey, Balazs.
Hey, what's up? There you are. Awesome. So you're up first this time. How you been? Things are good?
Doing good. Yeah, hanging in
All
there.
right. All right, sweet. Let's talk about it. So Jordan says, "Hey Balaj, on almost all of our calls, the subject always comes up that there's 14 days left in a month. It's more than possible to go have 3, 7, 10 trifecta sales, which I truly believe 100%. But at the end of every single month, I find myself in the same position, which is not bringing on at least one person onto my team. I'm constantly asking myself, how did I not break through this cycle again? What am I doing wrong, etc. This has been ongoing since last September. It's all I think about nonstop. Below are the actions that I've been doing. You've been testing new ads and audiences every week at $22 per day. You just posted your first retargeting ad using Sam's training. Now that I have enough qualified data to do so, that's awesome. I have 2 value $1 ads running. I recently started to trying to be more active on my Instagram stories and also making reels, mainly for my $1 value audience finding my page. I read at least 10 pages a day and occasionally journaling on the days that my mindset is really getting to me. I know my life path number is 1, and maybe it's time I talk to Bobby, but every month I constantly feel like I'm so close for the floodgates to burst open, but then I find myself in the same spot at the end of the month with just crickets. With all that I'm doing, is there anything else I could be implementing, or am I doing the main money-making activities? And now I'm just waiting to find that winning ad so that I can scale. I would love any kind of feedback or guidance on how to finally break out of this cycle, as always. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is awesome. So, a couple of things here. This is kind of what I spoke on the other day on this 6A in 6 weeks call. And from reading this, it seems like you're definitely doing a lot of the right stuff. But the intuition I have from reading it is it's also very like passive. And what I mean by that is you're kind of waiting for people to come to you, right? And that's kind of the idea with attraction marketing or ads or those things, is like you want to create attractive ads and content for people to reach out to you to ask you questions, be in your inbox and so on. However, at the same time, if you're looking to break through, like getting one person to start, then I feel like you need more offense. You need to go and reach out to people. And it might not, and I don't mean that in the way of like old school network marketing, like make a list and then just like reach out like that. I mean, like, pay attention to clues, pay attention to little subtle hints people have. And I'll give you an example. Sometimes you'll notice that people on your Instagram stories are like the first person to watch if you look at who's watching your stories. Okay. Um, Typically, if someone's really watching, they're curious a lot of the time. They might be a hater, but I like to give people the benefit of the doubt that they're actually curious and they would like to understand. They're interested in what you're talking about, your content, and they're just maybe afraid to reach out. They don't know what to say. They don't want to embarrass themselves, just this kind of self insecure stuff. And so I don't know, are you currently doing any type of outbound reach outs to people that are showing interest in your stuff? Or are you just waiting, sitting back, hoping that they take that first step?
I do Facebook every once in a while, trying to find groups that are, actually looking for online opportunities. I don't do Instagram anymore because I found that I think it just goes straight to their spam and they never see it. And I have quite a few hundred of messages that have never been opened from people on Instagram. but I do try to,
Like you got messaged by people and you never opened it?
no, like me
Oh,
reaching out to
you sent
them.
to them. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, to see if I could build a relationship, see what they're looking for from a post I saw.
Hmm.
But mainly Facebook. I try to do at least 5 a day. It varies, but I would
Like
say,
five reach outs a day on your Facebook
yeah,
to people in your network or people that you don't know cold market.
cold.
Cool. Okay. So like, I was talking a little bit about Nick already at the beginning of the call, but like when we worked together in the early days, there was all kinds of different lead gen stuff that we were doing, but we were in contact with people in our network, like warm market or acquaintances or people, you know what I mean? And it worked really, really, really well. And the reason for it is because my perception is this. Social media has a place for marketing. That's what pretty much almost everybody on social media uses it for these days. Is like everyone's selling something, they're promoting something, they're talking about something, right? It's turned into like this cesspool of salespeople on different ways, which is fine. We're using it for the same thing. But very few people go onto social media to actually state their problems. Like, hey, I'm in financial trouble. Does anyone have a business opportunity that they can help me with? Have you guys ever seen posts like that? Not very often, right? Usually, if somebody needs help, they're asking for a handout, a GoFundMe, donations, free shit, that kind of stuff. There very few people are like, look, I'm in a bad place. I'm ready to work hard. Can you just give me a business opportunity in my DMs or a comment below? But a lot of people right now with inflation, with the way things are going the last few years since COVID, they are in a tougher spot than they want to be. So they may not think that the solution is what we have. They may have not bridged the gap between online business, health and wellness, water, direct sales, high ticket sales, these types of things that we're very familiar with because it's what we do. But a lot of people are thinking like, man, I need to find a way to make more money, or I got to pay down my debt. Or like if I don't change something, I don't know how we're going to go on a family holiday this year. So these thoughts are a thing, but the solution to those thoughts or concerns or pain points or problems, they're like, it's like a big question mark. They're like, if I knew, I would do something about it, but I don't really know. So what we need to do is when we're doing these kinds of reach outs, people even in our networks that are not our warm market. I actually teach the opposite of what these network marketing companies talk about in the past is like you don't start with your 10 best friends and like that's not where you start. That's what these other companies teach you is like start with your grandma and your mom and dad and your best friend and stuff and like people closest to you because they'll for sure say yes. It's like, yeah, but if you're the least experienced and you don't know what to say and you're going to kind of screw it up, then you might damage that relationship. And this is the reason why so many people are afraid to contact someone that they have a relationship with of any kind because they don't want to look stupid, sound silly, offend somebody, whatever, whatever. But there's a lot of people most likely on your Facebook that you would consider an acquaintance that you met once or worked with in the past or, a friend of a friend, this kind of thing, where you don't really give a shit what they think about you, or you shouldn't anyways. Those are the people I'm talking about. So if you're connected on Facebook with people and you reach out and you say, hey, this might be a little bit random, but I have this thing and I thought about you, are you willing to take a look? Are you looking to make money, extra money online or replace your income? These types of questions, it can come across very genuine if you say it in that way. And you'll just get a yes or no. Someone will say, actually, yeah, I am open to taking a look, or no, thank you, thanks for reaching out. And if it's like a no, thank you, then you can continue the conversation if you wanted to, being like, by the way, how you been? What are you up to? And not make it seem like it's just about that. But this is how I built my business. This is like the bread and butter in the beginning, is I had no shame, no nothing. And the reason why I'm recommending this to you based on what you're saying here is because it's an alternative way to generate leads prior to this other stuff starting to click and connect for you, which it will. So you're going to have just a multifaceted way to build your business. You know what I mean? So don't wait around necessarily for this other stuff to work. But if you have one person your capacity for what you're looking for is one person. So you only have one opening, one position. But if you fill that position with a sale, you now start momentum because you can talk about this person you partnered with. You can do a case study with this person. You can share their backstory and their reason for why they started the business. And then other people start listening. So you kind of just got to get the ball rolling any which way you can. And that's why I feel like this might be an option for you to just go out and reach out to people and have more an aggressive approach. That's the first part. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, all of it.
Okay. The second part is what exactly are you saying to your audience? Because if you're not speaking directly to your audience in a way that makes them listen, then it's kind of more like just white noise, right? Like your ads aren't going to convert. So you need to get hyper specific in who you're wanting to attract into your business and then just keep speaking directly to them. Because if you think about your social media as, let's say you wanted to attract, like describe your ideal client right now, and then I can use that as an example.
Um, Pretty much women like in their 30s, working 9 to 5 jobs, but also moms, and they're not able to be present with their kids because they're having to go to work 5 to 6 days a week, and they're just missing out on time and also, their own finance struggles too.
Got it. So a way to say that would be like burnt out, overworked moms with full-time 9 to 5 jobs, something like that to summarize, right? So now where a lot of people get stuck is that your actual friends and followers on your social media is a variety of people from all walks of life, right? You've kind of added people throughout the years and they're all different random types of people. But what you need to do is you need to think about what if your entire Facebook friends list was only burnt out, overworked moms who work 9 to 5 jobs and didn't have enough time with their kids. Everyone else is irrelevant to you. You have to ignore everybody else. Maybe you do an occasional family update like, hey, it's, Christmas time and or like a post of you going on a trip. But in terms of actual long form copy or trying to do like marketing and lead gen, you're just assuming that you have 500 people on your Facebook friends list that fit that description. And you continue to add more people from these groups into your friend circle to grow that reach. So these people are hyper relevant. So then what you think about is it's now time for you to write content and they work 9 to 5. So at what point do you think somebody who's a burnt out mom, overworked, has a 9 to 5, has young kids, is barely present? When do you think they're going to be checking their Instagram or their Facebook? What time of the day?
When they go to bed.
Okay, so evening time, right?
Yeah.
So you can schedule a post to go onto your Facebook 8 p.m. every single night that talks directly into how these people are feeling. So how does a mom who's burnt out, overworked, how does she feel? What is on her mind? What is she stressed out about? Does she have a lot of energy? Is she exhausted? Is she super cheery happy or is she just drained? Is she worried? Is she this? Is she that? You know what I mean? So then when she does go check her social media, there's a post speaking directly to her how she's feeling. Do you think she's going to be more interested?
Yeah.
So you have to get very specific in describing these people situations because then it's like it's hard to ignore at that point. When it feels like you're talking directly to me, it's much harder to ignore or scroll past it. But if it's kind of sort of describing me, but not fully, then as a human being, what we do is we deflect and we go like, oh yeah, that must suck. It's not my situation, but that must suck for that other person. Have you guys ever done that? It's like you're reading something and it kind of describes you a little bit and then it doesn't. And then you're like, oh, it's a free pass. Like it's not for me. Right? We all do it to a certain degree, depending on what the marketing is. So that's another thing that you need to just create content around. And then when you're doing these two value ads, what exactly is that right now? Like what are you talking about in there?
More so kind of just giving that picture, you know, what an ultimate dream life would be. Like we live by the ocean, so I do a lot of reels that are, going to the beach on a Tuesday instead of having to wait till Sunday, or not having to ask your boss to go on a vacation, because you have that freedom with the online business. Just similar kind of like pain points, but things they're also wanting to have in their life as well.
Yeah, so I think what you need to do is talk more about the pain, like
Okay.
instead of the outcome, because when you're doing the retargeting stuff, you can do both, but you want to start off with describing the feeling of them not being able to go to the beach on Tuesday. The feeling of not being able to, you know what I mean? Like, what does that feel like? And how long has that feeling been going on for? Like, you really need to make it hurt. And you're doing it from a place of love. Like, until someone is moved into action because they're so unhappy with what they're at, they remain in that comfort zone. That's just how all of us are. It needs to hurt to the point where you can't handle it anymore before you're ready to make a change. That's just how it usually goes. So we need to make sure that you're reminding them of what they're avoiding in these retargeting videos and then offering them a solution, an alternative, and then having them book a call and get on the phone with you.
Okay.
I think you might be playing it a little bit too nice. That's just my
Okay.
guess.
Yeah.
I think you're being too sweet, too nice, too kind, too like um you're skipping that key step of them having that emotional connection to why they need to be ready for a change.
Okay.
So bring that side of yourself out
Hmm.
and see how that goes. And the best way to do this for most people, if your target audience is similar to you and stuff that you truly intimately understand because you've had the same emotions, the same thoughts, the same struggles, which I'm assuming you do. So you literally intimately know what the people are talking about, then describe your true feelings in these videos.
Okay. Just on the dollar ads or the retarget ads?
Well, both. It depends how you have the ads structured. So typically it's like the ads structure inside of your business manager, whatever. It's kind of
Yeah.
like got a waterfall effect, like top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel,
Hmm.
right? So you want to think about where are you starting the process from? Now, typically in the beginning, when you're offering value, you don't want to like make them cry and hate their life because they're probably not going to follow you, right? So one of the first videos you can do from a value ad is how can someone who is a burnt out, overworked mom working 9 to 5 and feels like they're probably feeling a lot of mom guilt. They're probably feeling like they don't have enough time for anything. And so they're really in a bad place, like mental health, emotionally. They're probably struggling a lot. So, what is a tip that you can give them to ease some of that pain without them having to buy anything? Just a hack, time management strategy, a way to get more chores done in half the time, or how to make the quality time they do have with their kids funner, more enjoyable, build a better bond. See what I'm saying? So you're giving them value based on not really trying to tell them that they need to spend money and they have to change everything and their whole life sucks, their calendar sucks, like all this stuff. Just a small, quick little hack that you have implemented that got you great results that you feel awesome about, and just tell them to try it out. And that's kind of the whole video is like, here's 3 tips on how to manage your time better if you're a burnt out, overworked mom working 9 to 5. Tip number 1, boom. Tip number 2, boom. Tip number 3, boom. And then it's like, these are some things that helped me before I transitioned into my online business that has allowed me to have freedom and more income. And if you want to learn more, follow me on my Instagram or click like or something like this. So you're almost like there's a little clue at the end where like these are some tips that help me before I took shit to the next level. And at this point, they're going, hey, that was awesome. You just gave me 3 tips that I didn't know about or I wasn't doing. But she also says something about an online business or something like, what was that about? And then the curiosity makes them click and check out your bio and click on the link and see what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
that's how I would do it top of funnel and have a few of these that you can test that are giving different tips, different suggestions, and just see what resonates the most with these moms that are going to see it. Then the middle of your funnel is going to include the retargeting stuff. And the retargeting stuff is going to include some of these reels you're talking about down at the beach, showing the B-roll, the lifestyle, the fun. So there's a place for that. But then you also want to talk about almost like the memories or the nightmares. Think about your past before you found this business, like a flashback or a nightmare. It's like, oh my God, I just had this nightmare that reminded me of how it used to be. Oh, it was intense. Thank goodness it's not like that anymore. And then that nightmare you're describing is someone else's current reality still. See how you can play that game? So
Yeah.
it's like, oh my God, I just had this nightmare. It was crazy. I had a 9 to 5. Oh my God. Almost had a heart attack in my sleep. This kind of stuff. And people go, what do you mean it was a nightmare in the 9 to 5? It's like, yeah, I used to, but it's been 11 years since I have. And thank goodness that I made these decisions and these choices. So play around with it like that. That will be really helpful. And then a way to simplify your being active on Instagram stories and stuff is use it as a way to document your journey and post a little something like after you're done your business activities. A lot of people, what happens is they'll post something before they do it. So they get a false sense of accomplishment. They'll like go on their Instagram and go, "Hey guys, I'm about to film a web class." And then they post it and then they're like, nah. So now you basically said you're going to do something that's awesome and you never ended up doing it because you got that uh the what's it called? Like the dopamine hit from saying and talking about it made you feel good and then you don't do it. So what you could do instead is when you post a new ad or you edit a new reel, or you do these kinds of things, once you did it and it's done and you posted it and it's live and it's completed, then do a little Insta story. Be like, I'm so excited. I just filmed a new ad. I just posted it on, I'm really excited to share this, blah, 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 blah. And that's it. You're done. And it's basically like holding yourself accountable to the things that you said you're going to do because you're doing behind the scenes type content when it's done. And that simplifies it so much because then you're training yourself to only share once the work is finished. And that's how you actually get way more stuff done. So whether it's having a family day, right? It's like family day, we're going to go for brunch, we're going to go to the beach, we're going to do this, we're going to build a sandcastle. Like you have all these things and you do little B-rolls of all that throughout the day, but you don't post it till the end of the day or the next day or something like that. And then you kind of do a reflection like this is how it was really fun. This is what I was thinking about, and it's already completed rather than the before. So that's something that is really helpful. Let me see the comments here. Do you have any questions on this stuff, Jordan?
No, I think you mentioned that a couple calls ago about like doing the action and then getting on your story. So I've been doing that the last 2 weeks.
Okay, how's that been going?
Good. I mean, I've kind of been including a call to action every once in a while, asking if people want more info or reach out, something like that. And I've gotten leads that way and a few trial signups. But yeah, I've been doing that the last couple weeks so far.
Awesome. Yeah, so it sounds like you're doing a lot of the right things and it is coming. The Bobby stuff would be powerful for you to just find out because if your cycle years, all this stuff, it does make a difference. But when it comes to your beginning part of your question where you're like, there's 14 days left in a month and it's more than possible to go have 3, 7, 10 trifecta sales, don't get so hung up on that because it's kind of irrelevant for you at the moment. It's something that is doable and it is possible, but you have to build some momentum initially. So if you did do one sale this month, that's literally the only goal that you need to have is just I have a capacity to help one person this month. And then if you fill that position and you find the right candidate, then you can always open up a second spot for the remainder of the month. But don't get so caught up in this idea like 3, 7, 10 trifecta sales. I feel like you're putting a little bit too much emphasis on that and it's hurting you because when you don't do it, you feel like you're not good enough or something's not working. But in fact, it's just a progressive thing. So it will come, but just make your goal right now one new person and then add a second one after that and then add a third one after that instead of your goal being 10 right out of the gate when you're at 0. Does that making sense?
Yeah. Would you recommend me saying the one person also in my ads or just mainly in Instagram stories?
Well, Here's how you can look at it. You can turn the things that you feel are negatives into positives by reframing them. So here's an example. I'm assuming that you're spending a lot of time with your family, you're busy, and you do this business part-time, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of how you can frame it. Is like I do this part-time and I got a lot going on with my personal life and my family, but I'm looking to help one mom in the month this month. Uh just one mom that's a great fit. I get way more leads. Like how many leads do you get on average per month right now?
It's all over the place because I'm constantly testing new ads. So the prices are always going up and down.
Just a rough number. Do you get 100 leads a month or less?
No, I would say now I get maybe 75.
Okay. So if you do the math on one person, there's one position, but there's 75 people who want that position.
Hmm.
That's the way you need to think about it. So be like,
Okay.
yeah, I get anywhere from 75 to 100 people a month wanting to work with me. But because I'm busy as a mom right now, I'm actually looking to just find one person that I can mentor, work with, and coach, or accountability partner, or learn this business together, or help each other make six figures part time, or this kind of language. And then as that starts to get rolling and you have two, three, four people get started with you, then you can refilm that ad and be like, it's five people a month or 10 people a month. But initially, you don't want to set the bar so high that it makes you like lose your confidence in building your business. And then it will all start to, you just got to get the ball rolling, get some momentum going. People appreciate that too. Like when I look back at my business in the early days, it was more valuable to work with me when I was in the beginning because I had less overall people in my team and I poured into people like Nick and other people way more because I had, you know what I'm saying? So that's like the opportunity to work with you now. That's how you
Hmm.
have to look at it. Like the best time to work with you is now because once you do have 50 or 100 people a month getting started in your business, you won't have the same amount of time and energy to invest into people. It's just not going to work.
Right.
So if someone's inspired by your story, your personal brand, these kind of now's the time to work with me because soon I'll be too busy to pay attention to people. And then people will get it. They'll go, okay, fair enough. And then eventually that will be true. And then you can use that in your future content to be like, I told you guys 6 months ago was better to work with me than now because now I'm freaking busy because I'm killing the game,
Yeah. Okay.
you know?
That sounds good.
All right, let me know how that goes.
Thank you.